My sister Chloe flipped her hair, scrolling her Instagram, and sneered at me across the Thanksgiving dinner table. You're 33 and still living in the middle of nowhere, chasing wolves? No social life. No one cares about your job. When are you going to join the real world? I set my glass of sweet tea down slow, the clink loud enough to hush the entire room. I've been married for 3 years, and I co-wrote a published book about wolf reintroduction with my husband. My mom froze mid-toast, her glass still raised halfway to her lips. My dad put his fork down, clattering against his plate. Chloe's boyfriend Ryan stopped chewing his turkey. The entire table went dead silent. Married? A book? My mom whispered, her voice cracking. To who? His name is Liam. We've been together 7 years, married 3. We live in the cabin outside Bozeman, the one on 10 acres we built together. Chloe recovered first, barking a sharp, disbelieving laugh. You're lying. There's no way you hid a whole husband and a book from us for 3 years. I wasn't hiding him. I just never told any of you because none of you ever asked about my life. That landed exactly how I meant it to. My family decided who I was when I was 16. Chloe was the golden child, the social media star who got 1 million followers before she turned 25, posted perfect selfies and family reels every holiday, who brought home fancy brand deals and attention. I was the quiet kid who'd rather hike in the woods than go to parties, who moved to Montana for a wildlife biology job and slowly became someone they only called on birthdays. Even then, Chloe would hijack the call in 2 minutes to talk about her latest brand partnership or her viral TikTok. Every holiday, I came home to the same script. Chloe and Ryan sat at the head of the table while my parents fawned over her every whim. I sat at the end, answering the same 3 questions. Still playing with wolves? Don't you get lonely out in the woods? Have you thought about moving back to civilization? Yet on my mom actually said that last one at Christmas 2 years ago, while passing the pie. Meanwhile, I'd been living with Liam for 4 years at that point. He proposed on a random Tuesday morning, while we were tracking a wolf pack in the mountains. He got down on one knee in the snow, holding a simple silver band he'd forged from a piece of old horseshoe we'd found on a hike, and said he didn't want a big fancy proposal, just something that felt like us, like the wild we loved. I said yes in my snow-covered jacket, and we married at the courthouse 3 weeks later. His parents drove up from Wyoming. His sister baked a huckleberry cake, and mine? I never told them because I knew exactly what would happen. My mom would cry about not being invited. My dad would lecture about family tradition, and Chloe would find a way to make my wedding, my book, my entire life, about herself, just like she made everything about herself. So I kept it. My quiet, beautiful life with a man who loved me, who celebrated every research win and every hike, who never once made me feel invisible. After I dropped the bomb, Chloe leaned forward, sneering. If you're really married, where's your ring? I held up my left hand. The same simple silver band I'd worn every single day for 3 years. Every single person at that table had seen it. Not one of them had ever asked about it. My mom's face crumpled. I thought that was a souvenir from the woods, something you found on a hike. You thought that because you never looked close enough to care. My dad cleared his throat. Why wouldn't you tell us something this important? Because the last time I tried to share something important, you talked over me for 40 minutes about Chloe's new luxury fashion brand deal. I told you I'd led the first successful wolf reintroduction project in the state in 20 years, and Mom said, that's nice, honey, and turned right back to Chloe's brand photos. Chloe's eyes narrowed. This is selfish. Mom and Dad deserve to be at your wedding. You robbed them of that. You robbed me of a family that noticed I existed. Chloe stood up, red in the face. You're making yourself the victim, like always. You chose to move to the middle of nowhere. You chose to be distant. I chose to protect my happiness from people who never valued it. Show us a photo then. Proof he's real. I pulled out my phone. Liam and me at our courthouse wedding. Us tracking wolves in the mountains. The cover of our book. Snuggled on the couch with our rescue dog. 3 years of a life they never knew about because they never cared enough to look. My mom started crying. I can't believe you'd keep this from me. I can't believe you never noticed your daughter was happy. My dad stared at the photos quietly. He looks like a good man. And this book, that's amazing work. He is. I'd like to meet him. My dad said. He's in the truck outside. Everyone's head snapped toward the front door. He drove me here. He's been sitting in the driveway for an hour and a half because I told him my family wasn't ready. I walked to the front door, opened it, and waved. Liam stepped out of the truck, gave me that lopsided, sun-warm smile I fell in love with, and walked inside. He shook my dad's hand, hugged my mom even though she was sobbing, introduced himself to Chloe, who just stared at him without speaking. He sat down and said, I've heard a lot about all of you. The silence told him everything he needed to know about what they'd heard about him. We stayed for 1 more hour. When we left, my mom grabbed my arm at the door. Please don't disappear again. I looked at her for a long time. I never disappeared. You just stopped looking.